Hello, hockey fans! Welcome to my first show here on YouTube. My name is Sam Paolini, or some of you may know me as Sammy P. Hoping to do these videos on a daily basis here, where I'll be taking you through all the NHL games on the board, talking about news in general. Sometimes on slower days, and when the card's not as full, we'll just be talking hockey. So you can follow all my news and analysis on Twitter, where my handle is Sammy_P_sports, or at sportsmemo.com, where I'm pretty active in the forum, talking hockey on a daily basis, and just giving my analysis on games and different news and injuries that come up during the course of a day. So we got a lot of games on tap tonight, so let's hop right into it. First off, we have Pittsburgh at the New York Islanders. This line's sitting at about Pittsburgh at a minus 140, 130, 140, depends on where you're looking, with a total of 5 to the over 145. Saw a little line move there recently in the past hour or so, with that total jumping up, some money coming in on the over. Love the way Pittsburgh's been playing lately, especially without Crosby, Malkin. Now Kennedy's been out of the lineup. Orpik was out of the lineup for a little bit to start the season. So they're getting guys chipping in from everywhere. They're playing great defense. They're giving up just 2.1 goals a game so far this season. The big story here tonight is going to be Malkin. Coach Dan Bilesma said that he was going to be a game-time decision. If they get him in the lineup tonight, I think that's going to be a big help for them. So look for that. Keep your eyes peeled on that. Towards game time, if you see him in the lineup, I think that's the definite an advantage for some of the total players that would like that game to go over. What else we have here? The Islanders, definitely, I thought they'd be right where I thought they'd be. Struggling defensively. Very exciting team, young team. Play great offense. A lot of great offensive weapons, but at the same time, they're lacking that little that tool that's going to put them over the top and put them into a playoff contention. And that's defense. And when you're struggling defensively, that hurts. And they do come home. They're 3-1 at home so far this season, putting up 2.75 goals on offense here. Looks like Nabokov's getting a start in net for the Islanders. And I'm interested to see how Nabokov plays. Big story last year where he was with Detroit, and then he was supposed to sign with Detroit, and the Islanders picked him up off waivers. And big story, him sitting out. So I think he's trade bait. Interested to see how he plays tonight and throughout the season. Going forward, I think the Islanders are going to be looking to trade him and kind of get something in return for him. I'm not really seeing a big difference between him and Montoya, to be honest with you. So there's really no reaction to the market, which I think there should be. Now, I'm looking for a little more open game tonight, and I think the power plays will be a deciding factor in this one. Both power plays have the ability to score, and I think we might see that tonight. Moving on to Ottawa and Carolina. Ottawa comes into Carolina. Carolina $1.80 favorite. Looks like we have a total of about 5.5 over 115. This Ottawa team, they're pretty unpredictable, I have to say. I really thought, they've confused me. I really thought they were going to come in, they were going to be a surefire, low-scoring team, struggle to score goals, play a really gritty, grinded-out type game where they'd rely on their defense to win them games, and their goaltending and Anderson to win them games. But they came out in a completely different manner. They've gone over the total 6 out of 8 times this season, averaging 2.9 goals a game on offense and giving up a whopping 4.25 goals on defense. So the line's a little out of whack, to be honest with you. I don't think Carolina deserves to be that much of a favorite. Considering neither of these teams are really playoff material in my mind. You have two teams that are really inconsistent defensively, which doesn't bode well for either. I really don't see how a line this high can be warranted with two teams that play so poorly defensively. I think there's value here with Ottawa, to be honest with you. They've won 2 in a row, but I can't support either team here with the unpredictable defensive play that they've had. Let's do Detroit at Columbus. Detroit $1.80 favorite here on the road with a total of 5.5 over 120. Columbus still trying to get their first win of the season. Pretty sad start for a team that was a lot of things were expected out of this Columbus team. I, for one, thought they were going to be improved, picking up Carter and Wisniewski in the offseason to complement Nash, and they just haven't done anything. To their defense, Wisniewski was out with a suspension, an 8-game suspension. Finally get him back in the lineup tonight. What he's going to add, I'm not completely sure. Carter's out of the lineup with an injured foot, so just not Columbus team's not what I thought they would be, and I know they're probably disappointed. It's an 0-8 team tonight going up against a 5-1 juggernaut Detroit team tonight, and that's what it is. That's how it looks on paper. Like I said, they get Wisniewski back tonight, but they don't have Carter, and this team is going to struggle without a full healthy lineup, and they just don't have the depth to kind of run with some of these top teams like Detroit. That being said, it's tough to lay that kind of price on the road with a team like Detroit, even though they are playing great hockey. I do expect a little higher scoring game. There's one way you want to maybe look at this total over. Wisniewski's back, like I said, and he's on the power play. He definitely makes that power play a little more potent. So, no real opinion on the game, but like I said, it's a mismatch on paper, and the line is just too far for me to get there. Tampa Bay at Buffalo tonight. Buffalo opened up as a $1.80 favorite, moved down to 150. Totals 5.5, over -120. The game is on Versus tonight. It is featured on Versus, so if you're gonna tune in and watch, you might as well watch this game tonight. It should be a great game. I love the Buffalo Sabres. I've been talking them up through the preseason and the regular season, and they haven't let me down yet. I wasn't sold on this Tampa team. I thought they had too many question marks and inconsistent play, too many question marks on defense and inconsistent play to make them as high of as high valued as they came into the season at. They have a ton of scorers, but just defensively they're a big question mark. And going forward, I don't think I can support a team like that. I personally think they're the third best team in the Southeast Division behind Washington and Florida. I think you'll see Florida as the season progresses past this Tampa Bay team, just because they have a full, more all-around team than Tampa has. I think the line move from 180 to 150 is warranted. Buffalo has played great early on this season, and they do deserve to open up as favorites in this game. Probably 150 is about right. I think we saw a little line move down here because Garone was announced as a starter for Tampa Bay tonight. Rolison has been their quote-unquote number one, but you can't really be a number one when you're giving up over 5 goals a game. And so having Garone in that tonight may have brought that line down a bit. Should be an exciting game to watch, though. I think it's a big test for the Lightning on the road. If the Lightning come up and win this game on the road here with some good solid defense, I think you might see some you might see a brief burst from them with some confidence, but still looking for Buffalo to continue their dominance in the East. San Jose and Nashville. San Jose is a $1.35 favorite on the road with a total of 5, over -125. This San Jose team, this Sharks team, really amazes me. They start out, it seems like they start out slow every year. They start out slow at home again this year, and almost on cue, just like last season. When they take a road trip, they immediately win some games, and it's just really uncanny how this team works. It's almost like they get closer and bond a little bit better, have a little bit better bonding experience when they go on the road. And, it's just something that maybe they need to get their engines oiled up a bit and get their engines started by going on a road trip. And they had 2 big wins, one in Boston, one in New Jersey, and I think that's a good way to start their trip. They may be in a little look ahead spot tonight. Not really sure that 2 days away on the 28th, 3 days away on the 28th, they do go to Detroit to play, which will be a big matchup there in the West. I don't think they're looking ahead of Nashville tonight, but it is a possibility. And playing against Nashville, despite their 3-4 record, they're having trouble scoring. They are just 1 game under 500, but this Nashville team really struggles to score. I think they're a definite playoff team. But you score in their last 5 games, they've scored no more than 2 goals in each of their games, and that's not good news. The good news is for them, though, is that they do have solid defense and great goaltending from Pecorine. So looking at that game tonight, I'm expecting a little close checking, tight hockey game. Don't think it's a spot where San Jose really deserves to be that big of a favorite. If I had a gun to my head, I'd say San Jose takes this game, but it's going to be a low-scoring, tight checking game in my opinion. Anaheim and Chicago. Chicago a $1.70 favorite here, 5.5 the total, under -125. And another big price here in Chicago as they look to continue their strong start this season. Not completely sold yet on this Blackhawks team. I do think they're an elite team in the league. I just don't think you can, take their record for what it is. They did play Dallas twice. They did play Colorado twice. Both teams starting off the year hot, but I don't think either of those teams are elite teams in the West. And even though I think Chicago's an elite team, they really still haven't proven it yet to me against competition. They haven't really played anybody yet, so I just don't know what to expect from the Ducks. Even though I like Chicago, this Anaheim team is really a Jekyll and Hyde team in my opinion. They looked disinterested on Sunday night when they played Phoenix. It was pretty lethargic effort from them. It was just freewheeling up and down the ice. Let's see if we can outscore them. And they ended up losing 5-4. I don't like teams that are unpredictable. The playoffs don't like teams that are unpredictable. And so unfortunately for right now, this Dutch team is a team that's just kind of wait and see what happens with them. I can make an argument for either side tonight on the Chicago Anaheim game. So completely kind of a write off game in my mind. I do want to see how Chicago plays, like I said, against some better teams before making a better decision on them. Vancouver at Edmonton tonight. Vancouver opens up as a $1.45 favorite on the road. Totals 5.5, under minus 140. Kind of surprised where this line came out a little bit. I thought the Canucks would be a little bit bigger favorites in this game. They did beat Edmonton in Edmonton 10 days ago, where the line closed about 15 cents higher than it was. I think it closed around 160. And what's different, I mean, the Canucks have Ryan Kessler back in the lineup. They didn't have Kessler against Edmonton. They did add David Booth in a trade on Saturday. Booth joins the Canucks. A big help offensively, I think, for this team. They did trade away Samuelson and Sturm, who haven't really put up the numbers that they should have been putting up. I think this Booth trade will give Booth a shot in the arm and add a little bit of offense to this Canucks lineup. As exciting as Edmonton is, exciting team as Edmonton is to watch, and I love watching them play. And they have a lot of youth and raw talent up front. It's just they struggle to score goals at times, and that it is probably going to hold them back throughout the year, making them a playoff team. It's tough to go against Vancouver here, even though they are on the road and they are laying about $1.45. But at the same time, they are still in my mind the class of the West, and playing you are getting a discounted price in my mind with this game. Dallas Phoenix, big line move here in Phoenix's favor. Phoenix jumped. They opened up about it was pick 'em game, and then about 20-cent move just happened here in the last half hour. Phoenix's favor. Not really sure why. In my mind, this is really a pick 'em game. It's completely toss up. Even though Dallas has started off strong, and I love their defense and their goaltending, and goaltending's been just absolutely unbelievable. Kari Lehtinen is, in my mind, the MVP so far to start this season. They give up a ton of shots, but at the same time he stops them all, and he's a solid goaltender. But they haven't played great offensively, and in this league you have to be able to play great defensively and play offensively as well, and if you want to be a top team. So I want really no part of this game tonight. I talked about Phoenix, how they played a really open style game the other night in Anaheim. Not even sure I really want to watch this game, to be honest. There's so many games on the card that you got to pick and choose your spots. I think this is a game where you just kind of let it go and move on to the next one. New Jersey at LA. LA $1.70 favorite here. Total 5, under minus 120. Kind of weird that it's pretty. Not too often you see a total 5 juice to the under, but I think it's pretty warranted in a game like this with New Jersey and LA. I think LA made some great moves in the offseason. Haven't really had a chance to talk about them too much this season, but they put themselves in the right near the top of the Western Conference with picking up Richards and making some other moves that they did. They started off the year going hot. They're 5-2, and in my mind, they're probably the best team in the NHL at winning these low-scoring type games, and I think that's what we're going to see tonight. They haven't given up a goal in the past 3 games. That's right. They haven't given up a goal in the past 3 games. They have 3 consecutive shutouts. And that's without Drew Doughty on the blue line. So that's a pretty impressive stat right there. I do think they have a little tougher task tonight against the Devils. The Devils did play these two teams did play 2 weeks ago against each other. Devils did win in New Jersey, winning a 2-1 in a shootout. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar along those lines. Not really sure why the line is that big, considering it's going to be a very low-scoring, tight checking type of game where bounce here or there can really change the outcome of the game. And another thing to note too is you don't have Jonathan Quick in net. You have Jonathan Bernier in net, and he played one game so far this season in Berlin when they played Buffalo. He gave up 4 goals, so no Jonathan Quick tonight. New Jersey knows how to play these low-scoring type games. There's probably some value on New Jersey here at plus 150. You could probably get them at plus 160, and that's a spot where even though they're 3-3, this New Jersey team is really battle tested so far this season. They're definitely in my mind probably not a playoff team, but you go 3-3 against top of the league. I mean, they've played 5 of their 6 games. They've played San Jose, Pittsburgh, Nashville, LA, as I mentioned, in Philadelphia. So you play 5 games against those teams, and they also play Carolina, and you go 3-3. That's saying a lot about your team and how much fight you have in you. So I'm expecting a lot or I'm expecting more than people are expecting from this New Jersey team tonight. Well, that's all we got for tonight. Not too much other news to speak of that's going to affect the games tonight. Most of the goalies are in. Like I said, keep an eye on Malkin for tonight, close to game time, if you're going to be playing either Pittsburgh or that total in that game. And tomorrow we just have 3 games on the board, so I'll go over what I saw in the games tonight, and I'll also preview 3 of the games and maybe take a look forward into the week and the weekend games. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Sammy P Sports or at sportsmemo.com, or on Twitter, and I will see you guys tonight. Good luck and goodbye.